We are not
We are
medical
not
professionals.
medical professionals, but we do hope that you get something from this as we are casually navigating life with anxiety and panic. We're back. Holy cow. I always just
We're
feel like we
back.
just jump right into it and I'm just so not prepared. But
Okay, but I'm prepared, and guess what, baby?
what?
New
What?
mic.
Baby. I like how you just say baby, new mic. You got
New.
the parent version of the mic that you
I
used to
did. I got
use.
the daddy mic.
You got the
I got the
daddy
big daddy
mic.
boy. Yeah. Okay. So if this one doesn't work, if this one doesn't sound phenomenal, I'm gonna jump out of a window because we've
We'll
gone
jump
through
out
a
of a
lot.
window though. Just
Just a small window.
because you
Just
could,
a
yeah. I mean,
just
like you can go
just
buy
like
a
a
nice
first
mic.
story window.
Yeah, but like like it's your life, or it's buying just a nice $400
Yeah, that's
mic.
just a first story window. So I just like hurt my ankles a little.
Yeah, I got you. Anyways, where were we? What were we talking about?
I don't know. We got a
Oh,
lot to talk about.
we got a lot to talk about. I just every one of these episodes so far, I just like feel so like I don't know. It's mental health is such a big thing in my life to where I want to talk about so much stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
I get
but
that.
like,
I
and then
I do
I
too.
try to step back and I'm like, dude, if I were to just like meet you in a coffee shop one day, just like picture it like that. Like I could just talk about everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we'll today we have zero prep pretty much, but you know what my prep has been?
What is your prep been?
Being super anxious.
What
I'm
do you
dropping
mean?
bombs. I've
Oh
been
yeah, yeah.
anxious all day. I don't know what's going on with me.
Huh.
Who knows?
Is it like one of those, or like just like one of those days where you talk to your friend, you say, you know what, I'm just having one of those days, or is
All
this
right,
like,
so that's what I want, and I'm reaching out to any of the listeners here to slide in and tell me if you feel this, and I'm asking you as well. There are days where like everything is fine, but you are just like out of it, anxious, like out of it. Like you wake up and like shit's foggy, your brain's foggy, you have your brain is like just running wild on its own, where like every thought is like da, 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 like just rapid thoughts and like just really firing off, and it's just like once every however so often.
yeah? And I think for me, it's when I wake up late. Like if I wake up late, that can definitely be the
That's
case.
interesting.
It'll set my whole
Okay.
tone off for the rest of the day. If I've just been
But
drinking like a ton of coffee or something, like I don't know, like you gotta take a second though to look back on like, okay, what did I do
what you
anything
did.
yesterday? Yeah,
Yeah, I know. That's what I do. I scan everything. Like, did I eat something weird? Did I do this? Did I do this? But I couldn't find anything weird
couldn't find
about
any shorts in
no,
the
which
circuit.
which makes me more nervous. I'm like, something's just wrong with me. So I woke up this morning and woke up early first, and I just like could not catch my breath. Like, which never happens. I'm not afraid of, like, I know a lot of people with anxiety are afraid of breathing stuff, like afraid of shortness of breath and not being able to breathe. I've never had that. Like I said, I deal with the vomiting thing, so like that takes up all the space in my brain. So I don't worry about breathing. But today I was like like I just couldn't catch my breath in the morning. So that was weird. Weird start to my day. Made me a little panicky, but it kind of whatever. Went to the gym. But on the way to the gym, I was like, God, I am out of it. Gym helped. And the rest of the day has been whatever. But tonight, I mean, right now, like as we're speaking, I don't know. I feel weird, but
Do you think though that you woke up, you feel weird, you think about it, and then
yeah, it
that's
freaked
just
me out.
enough to just throw your
Yes,
rest of your
that's
day off?
definitely what
So if you were to
happened.
wake up weird and just like right away have been like, oh, like,
It's an off
hmm,
day. I don't care.
it's an like, yeah, it's an off day, I don't care, because like those first couple of minutes are so crucial in the beginning of the day, where like if you're having negative thoughts or something, that's why like I've tried to not check my phone or whatnot right away. But like that first hour after you wake up
Yeah.
is enough to throw the rest of your day off. I think that's like such a valuable hour or such
Yeah.
a
So it
crucial
was a
hour.
weird, it was a weird beginning to the day. And I think you're probably right that I started out weird and it scared me. So I was like
So now you're
done
thinking
from
about it the
there.
whole day. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
It's kind of
oh
a
yeah. I
spiral.
thought about it all day of how, why do I feel weird? Why is my brain running faster than usual? Why can't I just calm down? Why, like there was just like too much in my head. So, and then the breathing thing, I'm like, dude, cause look, this brings us to a topic that we'll discuss today. Maybe not for too long, but we will discuss, and that's COVID. Okay.
Mhm.
I did a YouTube video like in the beginning of the pandemic about like how it has affected my mental health. Uh, and I mean, I'm not alone in that. Everyone's mental health has probably been affected. It's like a nightmare because I'm just terrified of getting sick. So like it was my biggest nightmare. But
Yeah.
I did not hide in the house as much as you would think for someone who, you know, is scared of being sick. I really tried to be like, I'm young, healthy, I'll be all right. If I get it, I can't fear this stuff. Like, so that's really the attitude that I have. And so but today it has ran through my head a few times, like, oh, I can't breathe. I must be sick. Like it must be that. I can't breathe. So that's what's going on in my brain right now.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you shared that. It's like some days we're gonna hop on the podcast and it could be like the shittiest day of our life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, today has not been it's not been the shittiest, but it's been like weird and weird drama with people that,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah,
Um,
sad,
but
sadly
like,
tragic.
how was your week? Other than that,
I think the week was good though. Yeah. I
okay.
I'm 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 stressing myself out like you said, like but it's personal shit. I need to just get over it. Stop thinking
Well,
about this. I know.
yeah, you gotta like surround yourself with love though too. Like,
Yeah, no, I haven't been doing that. I've been okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. This is super. So we do want to talk about avoidance, right? Avoidance
yeah,
anxiety today, like avoiding things that scare us.
yeah, um,
Is that true? Are
yeah.
you on that
No,
train?
yeah, yeah. No, totally. I think like last episode, I had mentioned how my week was so stressful, and the stress is still continuing on. And a lot of that has to do with avoidance
Avoidance.
and the trips that I'm currently trying to plan right now. Um, I am supposed to go to California in April. I'd like to go see a friend in Florida, which you would be there too. But
Yeah,
anyways, like,
if Ryan goes to Florida, okay, no, but that's the thing that I haven't told you yet. But here's the deal. I'm fucking going to Florida.
yes,
Like I'm going now. I'm going in days
yeah,
because I'm at my end of being scared
yep.
and I think honestly I'm gonna drive.
Which is so weird to me, like because you want to drive, and I totally get that. Like if you feel panicky, you can pull over, you can get out and breathe and feel in control. I want to
And I can
fly
turn
because
around.
it's less time
Yeah.
thinking about everything, I guess. Like, and just because I want to just fucking get on a plane and just
And
know
just sit
that like
there.
everything's okay. Yeah,
See, I
totally.
never feel okay on a plane. I hate them so much. They're terrible.
Yeah, no, I
I just
feel you,
wanna
dude. I feel you. I'm totally with you.
I'm I think I'm just gonna get in my car and I'm gonna drive to Florida and I'm gonna sit in the sun for a few days
Oh
and
my gosh, how nice does
prove
that
to
sound?
myself that I can do it. Stop avoiding things that I want to do. Stop making up excuses. That's all I'm doing right now. I'm just. There's no reason I shouldn't get out and go, because I need it. I need it more because of my brain. Like I need my. It's anxiety is so built around confidence for me. Like if I'm confident in my ability to handle the anxiety, the anxiety weakens to a point of like barely even being there. So
Yeah.
I need to go and I need to do it. I need to suffer a little bit. I'm going to suffer a little bit. I'm going to be in the car and I'm going to be a little bit like, damn, this is crazy. Like this, I'm driving and I'm driving 15 hours or whatever, which by the way, I've done much worse. I've driven completely across the country
Why
multiple
would you
times.
rather, yeah, kind of break us down on that. Why would you rather fly than, or why would you rather drive than fly?
It's literally the control thing. Like I'm scared. It's like an easier step. If I get on a plane, I just have this fear that I'm going to freak out on the plane, which I have done.
Yes.
I've done it.
Yes. Yeah, you told me about how
I've
you I
barreled
mean
over
I mean
a
like
flight attendant.
good for you for like taking the initial step and saying like I'm going to get on this damn plane. Because for me getting on planes, like if I had gotten invited and I needed to fly or something, I would just square out say no, like I
Yeah.
can't do this, and I wouldn't even try.
So
So like,
let
run us
me
over
let me
this. Run
just
us over this. I want to hear this story because
yeah,
you
let me
haven't.
run down real quick the timeline a little bit. So obviously I lived in California for a little bit. So I would fly home from California alone with no Ativan. That was my peak um best flight abilities, except when I was a kid, which was like zero care in the world. I flew all the time and didn't care. So
Yeah.
peak flight abilities were flying alone as an adult, with no medicine, and I didn't like it, but I did it. So that's the top, and the bottom is a couple years before that. Um, I was going to go to Florida with my family. Uh, and I was probably 17, I'd say. And which, by the way, I have two stories of literally running off. So the first one is Florida. I was going, and my family was all in the airport. We're all there. I have Ativan for the flight, which, if you don't know, it's
Yep.
like a sort of like Xanax.
Most
It's
people know what
not.
Xanax are probably because obviously songs and stuff. So like it's very
Yeah,
similar to
it's
Xanax. Yeah.
it's not as strong, at least for me. I don't sleep on Ativan. I just don't care about anything. So I took the Ativan a little too late, but it was just a choice I made. I feel like when I look back on it now, I made the choice that like I shouldn't go to Florida. Like, and it was probably, it was fear that made that choice for me. But I
Yep.
made that choice in my head, and I was like, oh, I'm not going. So I get to the airport, and I'm like, which this sounds so messed up, but like I was praying that something would go wrong with the flight so that we didn't have to get on it. Like, so I was
Okay.
praying that like
Okay. Yeah. Like, okay. So I'm gonna stop you there. I went on that 3 week trip out west a couple years ago. And woke up that morning and I didn't want to like, yes, I wanted to go out west with my friends. Like, yes, I wanted to do that. But when the panic strikes, I was like, "Ah,
yeah.
maybe I'll wake up and my friend doesn't want to go either. Like,
Yes,
oh, that
yes,
would be
that's what I
so
pray
nice,
for.
right?
I
Yeah, you're
pray
doing
for
anything
it.
you, yeah, yeah. That,
I
yep,
pray that the planes aren't working, the weather's too bad, we can't fly. That's what I pray for when I'm like on my way to the airport. So that I'm feeling that way, and I'm literally thinking like anything. I'll scream at the top of my lungs in this airport, and they'll kick me off the flight. I'll get in a fight so they kick me off the flight. Like, I was just thinking of all the ways to get off the plane. But
yep.
I get through security, and we're waiting for the plane, and I am like, I can't do this. And my mom's like, she's so upset because she knows how, it's she feels bad for me. She's, it's sad because I'm like, I'm not going, and like she didn't want to leave me alone in Atlantic City, which is where we're flying out of. So it was a lot of things. She was upset, but it was I think I was, 17, so I was still like a kid, I guess. And in that level, that having that level of anxiety is why she was so worried about uh leaving me in Atlantic City. It was because I was like a wreck, I was like freaked out. So I took the Ativan a little too late, and we start boarding the plane. I'm like, I'm not I'm not doing this. I was like, I'm not doing this. But like,
Yeah.
I walked on the plane knowing that I was getting off of it, which is just like
Oh my
the
gosh.
worst thing ever. Like, I walked on the plane knowing like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run, and I'm gonna run.
I'm gonna
So
get on this plane to prove myself I can get on the damn plane, but I'm getting off before it leaves.
I got on the plane, and I'm like, oh no, I gotta get out. I'm leaving. And it wasn't even like, it was like panic, but it was relief because I knew I was getting off. So I was like, I'm leaving. And
Oh.
the flight attendant was like, you can't leave. Like, you can't. And I was like, watch me. I'm off. I'm off this flight. And she's like, you can't leave, blah, blah, blah. I literally barreled through, ran off the plane. My mom was so upset. I felt terrible, but and then the Ativan kicked in, and I was like drunk off Ativan, and
Oh, so you
yeah,
ended up
but
going.
nope.
Oh, you didn't end up going. So the Ativan
Nope.
kicked in after you got off the
Yeah,
flight, and
yeah,
then you're
no, the
just like,
advent kicked in the Atlantic City airport when I was waiting for my dad to come pick me up.
gotcha.
Yeah, it was tough, but and I've done it another time where I planned a trip back to LA alone. This was like more recent. This was like a year ago, maybe or so. I was getting on a plane to Denver to fly to LA, and I looked at the plane through the window, and I was like,
This big
"Oh, that."
scary thing.
Well, no, it looked small. Which, like, if you know, at flights, like when they're small, you feel the stuff more, which I don't like because I'm like, it's gonna make me nauseous and I'm gonna throw up. So I I looked through the window and they were all boarding the plane, and I just literally pretended. I was like, "This isn't my flight. I'm not getting on this flight. This isn't the one." And I
as
of course knew, like, it's like Denver to Philly to Denver, boarding flight 4481, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's not me. I'm not getting on that flight." And so I was like texting my mom. I was like, "Mom," and again I put her through hell because she's like, it's just so frustrating. But I was like, "Mom, I didn't get on the flight. I didn't get on the flight."
damn,
So
dude. And this
that
was a
was
flight that
tough.
you would have been alone on.
Yeah, that was a big
And
setback.
the
I
first
hated that
one,
one.
the first one was with your mom, and you still couldn't do that.
Family, a bunch of family, like
Okay.
aunts, like
Damn, dude.
everybody. Yeah, but I've flown since then alone. Got on, stayed on. Flown a lot
Yep.
since then. Actually, that was years ago. I have not flown since the time where I just pretended that that flight wasn't mine. I
Yeah.
don't think.
Would you
Oh
say
no,
you're at
yes, I have. Yes, I have.
would you say
I
you're at
have.
like a whole new place though with your anxiety and like maybe
Yeah,
just overall better
yeah. But I
understanding
just need
of
to. This is why I'm doing this, because I need to do something tough. I need to do something that I know
yeah, I
is
feel you.
like a little hard for me, because I I just need to do something. I need to do something
I
that it's
haven't
confidence, dude.
I haven't let's see, like flying is one thing, but I haven't like left Minnesota in like I don't know, 2 years, dude. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
for me, it's
I
been
went to
a
visit my
year.
brother in Chicago with my family, but like besides
That's
like,
something.
I mean, yeah, it's something, but like big picture, like no, I haven't done anything big in like 2 years. So when you talk about comfort, like I'm right there with you, and that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Is like,
You want to get out of it because dude. It's the. Let me just
yes,
say this.
yes,
This
but
might be the most.
I've also had like smaller challenges,
Yeah, but
like
okay, ready? Let me just drop some heat. I'm about to drop some heat.
yeah,
And before I do, I can't forget it because I'm starting to forget it. Oh my God. It's
hit me.
going, it's going, it's going. Hold on. Okay. Um, the comfort zone for anxiety is the worst place ever. Like, this is where we get worse, when we're comfortable, because we just slide back. We just
I'd
slide
say,
back
yeah,
into that
I keep
old
seeing
pattern.
I keep seeing I see a lot of stuff on Instagram and Twitter about comfort is just not good overall in life, right? For a lot of people.
Yeah, which it sucks because
For a
God,
lot of
I
people with
fucking love
dreams and
comfort.
ambitions and goals. But I always look at that separately to me because being uncomfortable to me, dealing with panic disorder is, I feel like a lot different than a lot of other people's like
Yes, I
uncomfort. You know
agree.
what I
I
mean? So
agree.
when people post that, I'm always like I deal with panic disorder. Like this is I'm not saying like
It's
my
different for
battle
me.
is worse. It's just it's different for
Yeah,
me.
for you
Like my
feels
level
different.
of
Yeah.
uncomfort right now is resolved around a lot of my like life. Like this is huge for me.
Yeah.
Um so to get uncomfortable is its own battle in itself
I
with
know. It's the
people who
wor
deal
it's
with
the
panic
it's the
disorder.
it's the biggest battle. It's the biggest battle,
It's yeah, it's literally the biggest battle of
but
my
it
life.
pays
So
off the most, and I know that from experience. I know that because I drove across the country. I know that because I lived in LA alone. And I
yep,
know that because these things were not I couldn't drive 45 minutes away from my house at
yeah.
a certain time in my life. And then I was living across the entire country from my
Yeah,
house. I
you
am in New
still when
Jersey.
you talk about that, when you talk about how you're living across like the world or the US, and I think about that, I'm like, damn, Max, like that's
I
fire.
know
That's dope.
it
Like,
was. And look, I will do it again. I will do
oh
this
yeah.
again.
Yeah,
I
I'll do it
just
too. Yeah.
it's it's that's what I'm saying by the comfort zone is the dangerous place, because I've been in this comfort zone because of corona. I've been home, and and sitting home and doing nothing. Like it puts it, dude, it's so bad for your mental health to sit there and be comfortable, because I don't have the confidence that I had anymore. Now I look at me living in LA and I'm like, damn, dude, could you do that now? Like
It
I doubt
slowly just
myself.
kind of diminishes, and then the
Yeah, it
doubting
goes
comes
away
back
because
in.
you haven't done it in so long, and you just start from scratch a little bit. Like before I went to LA, I thought,
Can you
dude, I could
regain
never
that?
do
Can
that.
you regain that confidence though?
That
Like
is,
the like
yes,
like the
yes.
no, I know, but by not conquering things, like by reading and studying, like can you
No,
regain that?
no.
You
There's
don't think
nothing like experience. Dude, I remember
exposure
moments.
therapy, exposure therapy. There's
Yes,
nothing
but I
like
remember moments sitting in my car or sitting in LA or sitting in Colorado. I remember the moments where I would think to myself, nothing, when people would ask me about their anxiety, and ask for advice, my only advice to give was nothing in the world works better than doing the scary things. Nothing.
yeah, yeah.
I used to think those things and be like, holy shit, that's like the key, is doing those things that scare you. So now
It's the scariest thing, but like
it's the most beneficial thing you can do. And that's why I'm sick of this shit. I'm going. I don't give a shit. I don't care
that's
how hard it is. I don't care if I have to turn around in Virginia. I got to get in my car and take the first step.
yeah. I think a lot of my emotion lately has been around just being frustrated, like just getting and I kind of come from two sides of it. As like when I get pissed off, I'm like, okay, it's something that I deal with, like it's something that I deal with and I'm learning. But there's such a big side of me nowadays where I just get so pissed and frustrated because I think about all the fucking flights I've missed and
Yep.
stuff, and it's just like, okay, I'm 22, I'm in my 20s, like let's go do shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You
But
want to live. You want to
yeah,
live.
you want to live, dude. And obviously, like, yeah,
So you're
like I should
frustrated.
ground myself in love. But yeah, I've been very just frustrated lately. And like I said earlier, the stress lately, like trying to plan for these trips is the hardest thing ever. I'm like, I can't. It's funny because like I can't use even certain terminology, certain words when I'm texting my friend that is giving me the commitment in my own head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
if that makes sense, like I can't say to him like that I'm excited. I can't, because
Yeah.
in my head
Yep.
I'm giving him the yes. And I can't
Yes.
do that. I'll avoid whatever it takes until the last second comes on and I just get on the damn plane.
Yep.
Um
Yep. 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 It's denial. You just deny
it's
that it's
yep,
actually
I'm going to
happening.
deny it until it actually happens. I'm going to
Yep.
avoid it until it
See,
actually happens.
that's exactly what I do, but that's why I'm saying it right now, is
Yeah.
because
And I feel so bad because he'll text me like, "Hey, are we going to California in April or not?" And it's my best friend, so he totally understands what I'm going through. But I'm always like, "Yeah, like let's do it.
yeah,
Let's go
like
to
yeah, yeah.
California."
That would be
But
sick, dude.
yeah,
That's what
that
I
would
would
be
say.
sick.
That
Let's
would
do
be
it. But deep
dope.
down, I am like scared, man. Like I
Yeah,
am. So,
I know,
anyways, that
dude.
I think planning for these trips, as I know it's the best thing for me, but it's also just brings a lot of stress overall. And I think I just like that's been on my mind so much lately.
It doesn't bring me stress as much as it brings me like dreadful anxiety. Like when I think
Yeah.
about, like I remember one time I had a flight to Phoenix from Philly, which is like 4:50, like 4 hours 50 minutes, which whew. But the night before, or the whole day before, was my birthday. I flew out on January 13th and the 12th is my birthday. And I could not eat one thing. I could not like thank anybody for their happy birthdays because my stomach was in like 400 knots because I
Yeah.
knew I had to get on a plane the next day. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying when I hate planning. That's why
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
saying,
anticipation. It's just
like
like
I'm just telling
I
myself,
feel like,
I'll
did we
get in
talk
the
about this?
car and I'll drive.
Yeah. Like,
Go
would it
ahead.
be better? It'd be better for you to just get in the car and drive, like plan a trip
Yes.
for tomorrow than it would be planning a trip for next week, right?
A
Because the
100%.
anticipation is just the anticipation is worse than everything, I feel like. Right?
It's the worst part. A
The
thousand percent.
anticipation is going to bring you 1,000 more times anxiety and stress and everything than the actual
Yeah,
journey
the trip.
itself, the trip. Um,
Yep. I when I drove across the country with my brother, oh my god, the anticipation was so scary. I remember the days perfectly. September 21st, we left. Um, We drove 17 hours the first day, I think, and got to Indianapolis. And I got to that hotel in Indianapolis, and I was just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what? Driving
Yeah.
across the country
Yeah.
to live somewhere else? Why? Why am I doing this to myself?
Like it
And then,
doesn't ever hit you though. You know what I mean? Like does
well,
it?
it hit me there, and then I woke up the next day, and it was like, get your fucking shoes on, like let's
Okay.
go.
Okay. Hold
Like
on.
it's just adventure mode. Like I get into a mode where like, you're stopping at gas stations and you're getting snacks and like, like you just get in an adventure mode, and that helps me because I'm like in survival. I try to make it like, yeah, I'm a fucking survivor, man. Really, I'm fucking driving across the country in 2021. It's like totally safe. But
Totally safe. Totally
yeah,
like that's dude. That's it's funny that you bring that up because it's like there's like a ton of people that I know that just like I think I'm gonna go to Colorado tomorrow, and they'll just like drive out to Colorado and like stay for
yep.
a couple weeks, and they'll come back, and then I'm like, oh my god, if
So
only.
I've been to that point. I've been to that point where it's like I'm gonna get my car and drive. When I lived in LA, I drove to Colorado and hung out with my dad for a few days, my brother,
And
like,
it like panic wasn't
and
even a
then
thing, right? You're probably more stressed about
it
where you're gonna get gas on the way or whatnot, like normal
yeah, it
life
wasn't
things.
it I had the thoughts before I left, like, oh, this is big, whatever, blah blah blah. You get on the road and you're like, I'm in an adventure, like I'm doing it. So it does I get into a mode where like I get, like I said, like adventurous. I'm like, yeah, I can do this. But in that time of my life, yeah, panic was like so, but you know why it was so secondary and so not a thought is because I had so much confidence in myself
Yeah,
because I was doing those things. So
yeah,
that is the starting point, is doing the things. There's one scary time. The first time it's scary. And then the next time it's easier because you have the
yeah,
confidence. And
yeah.
that's why, dude, I'm jumping. Let's go.
When I was on that 3 week trip out west, I told you this, but second day in, I wanted to come home. Like I almost bought flights to come back home, or I almost had my mom come fly out to get me.
Yeah.
Um, 3 week trip, like by the third week, I didn't want to come
Yep.
home. Like it
Yep.
flipped that much. Like I wanted to stay out there.
Yeah.
Um,
So I've
and
had
it,
go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say again, if you're still listening and you're kind of confused on what panic, like what's going on inside her head, again, just to break this down, it's the fear of fear adrenaline, fear cycle. Basically, we fear panic. I just
Yeah.
wanted to break that down. Like we're scared of
Yeah, the panic
this
attack.
feelings. We're scared of the panic attack. So if you made it this far and you're like, oh, what are these guys talking about? Like, so yeah,
So what I was gonna say is I've had those experiences too where even like I flew to LA with my dad once and wow, I forgot I did that. That was a pretty big trip for me. That I was terrified the day before, whatever. I flew there, I get to the hotel with my dad, and it was the night of the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight.
oh okay,
And I get to the hotel and I just start fucking crying. And like I don't cry, like I'm not a crier really. I don't get sad. I wasn't sad. I was just like so freaked out that I was in LA that far away from home
yep,
that I was like, "Oh my god, what did I just do?" And then my dad was like, "Hey, Max, if you want to get on a plane in 2 hours and go home, we will." And I was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Okay, I'm fine." Because I was just
because you knew you had
scared
an
of
escape. You knew you
like,
had a
yeah, being stuck. I was scared of being stuck somewhere, but it's all a control thing for me. Like, but I
yeah,
want to have the control in myself and the
yep,
confidence in myself
yep,
to not fear that. Let's not feel like I need to go anywhere. Just the comfort should be in myself rather than where I am and who I'm around.
yeah, totally, dude. You should always
Bomb,
just be able to.
bomb. Just
You
dropped
should always
bomb.
be able to just like you can't even talk right now, but just be able to know that you have yourself. Um, I wanted to
Anyway,
talk a little bit about this is a pop, but avoidance when I first started having panic attacks and the amount of excuses I had to come up with to tell my friends that I couldn't do something with them.
okay.
Um, like just like so many times that I'd avoid, I mean, trips, like, yes, I've avoided trips with my friends. I've avoided shoots out west because I know I can't make it, and I still do.
Yeah.
And it's like when you have to tell someone that you can't go because of your panic or anxiety, it's also it's a little embarrassing, not as much anymore, because it's just something that I deal with. But so many times, like even around like here in Minnesota, that I would be invited to go do something. And if it was like, and I would like check so many times where I would check maps, I would check Apple Maps and be like, how
Yep.
far
Yep.
away is
Yep.
this? How far
Yep.
away is this from my house? How far away is this
Yo.
from here? Can I make it 45 minutes? What if I make it 30 minutes and like my mom has to come get me? But I would come up with so many excuses that was just like, hey, like I don't like, I'm not feeling this. Or I'm not, it's not even that. I would just come up with excuses because deep down it's like, it's embarrassing to tell them that like I don't want to like I might have a panic attack. How do I tell
Yeah.
my friends? You know what I mean? And that, I just want to talk about that because that was early. That was earlier on though. Now most of my friends know what I deal with, so it's never a problem,
Yeah.
and I'm
So
able to. Yeah,
I don't surround myself with people who wouldn't understand it in a way. I don't need you to understand like you've felt it, but I need you to understand like that you just trust that what I'm saying is real enough for me to say it. So if I'm going to tell you that something I don't want to do something, you're going to understand it or I'm not going to
yep,
fucking hang out with you. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I I don't hang out with those people that are like that. Which, not that there are, but uh so the people that I'm around obviously all know how I am. I like to have my car places because and when people drive in my car, they know that they might get left. Because if
yeah,
I'm at a party or something and I'm somewhere and I want to leave,
yep.
I'm leaving.
We have certain, like my bringing my Ativan with me. I have my Ativan with me everywhere because I need that.
Oh
Right, that's
wow.
my safety net. But we always have certain things that we do in order to just make us feel more comfortable. Like if I'm going to go on a 40, like not anymore, but if I was to go on a 45-minute trip a couple of years ago outside of my house, I would make sure I'm like, hey mom, do you have your phone on you? Like, can you just
Yeah.
make sure your phone's on you for the next couple hours? Because I'm about to go do this thing. And like, just in case, like I need to call you. Um,
Yeah, I've had that. I always carry mints, which I don't carry them as much anymore because I think I'm just much better at dealing with it. But when I feel nauseous or like my mouth feels weird and dry, I just suck on mints. I used to do
yeah.
that. All my friends know that I have mints on me all the time, but I don't anymore, which is, I guess, a good sign. I always carry ginger. Just pop some ginger in my mouth when I'm feeling nauseous.
Okay.
So there's these little safety blankets, and we can talk
Yeah.
about those all for forever. But I think I don't have any problem with them. I don't have any problem with having things that make me feel better about, doing things. So I have
The
those,
other
but
thing, the other thing I wanted to mention is this is pretty big, but it comes like we're never actually in danger. You know that?
yeah, of
I mean,
course.
we're never actually in danger. It's all about how we feel, how we think
Well,
we're gonna
that's why the
feel.
throwing up thing is so frustrating because I wish I was well, no, I don't wish I was afraid of like something else because I would just do the same thing about that fear. I would just
Yeah.
that fear would pop up. But like people are afraid of driving, so then they can't live because they can't drive places, and that's terrible. I'm not afraid of driving at all. I don't have not even a little bit of a fear of it. I just fear like throwing up and being out of control. So it's different for me, but it just changes my life in different ways. Like
Yep.
I the one time I was with Jeff, my friend Jeff, and Sean, and this is the first time I ever had like a panic attack because of food. So this started like the food weirdness. I used to be able to eat whatever and I'd be fine and I wouldn't worry about how it would feel in my stomach until one day when I went to Five Guys with two of my friends. I remember it so goddamn clearly because Sean was literally telling me, this is how long ago it was. Sean was telling me about Snapchat. It had just come out and what Snapchat was. And I could see him through a tunnel
Oh no.
because I was freaking out. And I could not hear a word he was saying. I just saw him through a tunnel because I ate. like half of a Five Guys burger fast on an empty stomach. And it just like, it felt like a fucking rock hit my stomach.
Yeah.
Like within, 5 minutes, I was like, boom, we're still in Five Guys. And I ran out of the store and they were like, what the fuck? I would love to get their input on it now because it's so many years
have one
ago.
of
And
the
like,
have one of the guys on the podcast.
yeah, like what I remember, what they remember, because and how different it is. So, dude, I ran out of that place so fast, and I literally think this was one of the worst panic. This is a really bad panic attack, and I feel so bad that they had to see it because I was gripping Jeff like with my hand. I think I was gripping him while he was driving, and like, and just saying like, am I gonna be okay? Am I gonna be okay? You promise I'm gonna be okay? Like I had lost it. I was
Yeah.
gone. And it was because I felt so nauseous and sick that I was sure I was gonna throw up. So I was
Yeah.
like, Jeff, I'm gonna throw up. Oh my God, I'm gonna throw up. And he knew like how I was. He knew I had anxiety. So he was like, he was being so nice. He was like, you're fine, everything's cool, like you're good. And it was like, I think about it now and how I would react to it now. And what I would do now is I would feel like I'm going to throw up, right? And I
Yeah.
would walk outside and I'd go, all right, let's do it. Let's throw up. And I would try to throw up. I would
Yeah. That's the
gag
best way
until
to do it. Yeah.
yeah, I would try to throw up. And I wouldn't freak out because there's no need to, because if I'm going to throw up, I'm going to throw up, blah, blah, blah. But I just remember that one started the food thing for me because it like I was like, oh, I can't eat burgers and I can't eat this and I can't eat that.
And you
And
eat
like
burgers anymore?
I haven't eaten a burger in forever, dude. No.
Yeah. Okay.
But I ventured into like expensive steak the other day and I felt good
Wagyu.
about that. It was I think it was just like I don't know. It was a big boy steak thing, and I just cooked it up and had I just piece by like I'm starting small back into the
Can
red
I
meats.
can I pause you for a sec?
Yeah,
I'm gonna piss my pants, dude.
there you go.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Quick. All right, we're good. Woo! We made it in time. Um, yeah, dude, I was the only time I've ever not been able to go on a trip was I tried to go to Banff. Banff in Canada. If you don't know,
Beautiful
beautiful
place
mountains,
too.
beautiful place. Made it 6 hours down the road, and um again, like I just started crying, like bawling. I know we've talked
Mhm.
about this, but like you just like I think it was just so scary. And it started getting really dark out. And then it started raining. And so you couldn't see 10 feet. You couldn't see 10 feet in front of the car. It started raining. It's super hazy. And it was just like this perfect just mix of
Yeah.
everything to just put me into panic. And we found a hotel. We were going to drive through the night and just make it there. But we found a hotel and I was like 3 or 4 Ativan deep. So I was
Oh
like,
wow.
I remember I told you the story, but I walked into the hotel to get a room, bawling my eyes out. And I remember looking at the front desk lady like right in the eyes. I'm like, like, you don't even want to know like what I've just been going through in the past hour. We just need a room. And woke up the next morning and just like first thing, like just started bawling my eyes out again, called my counselor, like so much support from
Damn.
stuff. Like you got to keep pushing. But it was like, yeah, I turned back home and now I look at it now and I'm just like, you should have kept going. But it was just so uncomfortable at the time and I
Well,
wasn't
that's
it wasn't where I am now. But
that happens,
I felt
man.
so bad for my friend because it's like, but he's super understandable. And yeah, that was kind of like something I wanted to talk about because it's like that's kind of like one of the bigger trips I've avoided.
That's pretty traumatizing
Like
too.
yeah, no, I took the first step, but then I avoided it as in. And here's the thing: one of the first bigger panic attacks we discussed on the first episode was in the cornfields of like South Dakota. And we were driving through North Dakota, I think at the time.
Dakotas
You
don't
know,
do
North
well for
Dakota
you.
and South Dakota, it's not very similar or it's not very different. But Yeah, and I think that just kind of hit me. Like I was kind of reminiscing in a bad way on that first panic attack, and I was like, this is not where I want to be right now. So if you're getting any advice of this, just fucking fly over Nebraska or South Dakota or North Dakota. Go and drive through North Dakota. You know what I mean?
Dude, I drove through Kansas. That was a weird place to
No,
drive
I would
through.
be fine right now. It's some beautiful, beautiful scenery out there. But
Dude, that's what like what's next like for you? Like do you want to we need I think you need to do something. I think
no,
we
yeah,
need
yeah, dude. I am like again, like right now, like yes, I'm gonna go to California in April or March or April. Like I'm gonna do it. As
Okay.
scary as that is saying right now, like yes,
What
I'm gonna
part? What
do
part of
it.
California?
We don't know yet. We want to do Yosemite. We want to go up the coast. But then, like I said, I want to go to Florida and meet my friend and meet up with you and record a podcast in person and make a video
Yeah.
about how we both conquered this life changing thing. And like
Yeah.
it's all over from there. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm. Yeah. I while you were talking, I just felt like some sort of calmness about it. Like I'm just like,
good, dude.
yeah,
Good.
I'm so fucking sick of it, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's frustration has been really real lately. I was working out last night, and I have a really good friend of mine who's a psychiatrist who we're gonna have on the podcast, who actually dealt specifically with panic disorder. And he does counseling now. He's a super good friend of mine, grown super close to him, but he always does this amazing job of I'll text him at night and I'll just like in the gym, like I'll just be like, yeah, I'm planning this trip to California. I don't know if I'll do it. And he always just breaks it down. He's like, Ryan, you are fearing your panic. You are fearing fear. It is irrational. Does not make sense. Think about it. You are fearing symptoms of panic. You're not in danger. It's uncomfortable, but you're not in danger. And he always does this great job of just bringing it back to what it is. And so I've been reflecting on that lately. And that pisses me off more, right? When you break
Oh,
it down
does
into
it?
what it
I don't know. It
actually
makes
is,
me feel good.
it makes me feel good, but it pisses me off in the sense of this
Like that
has
you're avoiding it.
changed my life so much.
And it's just
This simple
non-existent almost.
simple in quotations has changed my life so much. Yes. So but yeah, what's next, Max? I don't know. I feel really good about it, honestly. Like as
Do
scary as
you?
it is, like yeah, I feel great about traveling. So I
Hell
do.
yeah.
Yeah, I've read a lot of books. The Hope and Help for Your Nerves book I'm rereading right now. But yeah,
Yeah, I
I
just
feel
got it.
confident. How do you feel? How do you feel about it? Like sitting here thinking about travel going to Florida in the next week. Like
I feel calm about it. I feel weirdly calm. I feel like I just have to do things. I just have to do them. I just have to go and worry about it later, and stay confident in myself. I've done way bigger things. I've done scarier things, and I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing the scared thing anymore.
yeah.
It only makes me worse. When I sit here in New Jersey and I go, I wish I could go there, but I'm too scared. Dude, fuck that.
Yeah. Why are you
I'm
scared? What are
not
you
I,
scared of?
I'm not
What are you,
doing that anymore.
yeah. Exactly,
I'm
dude.
just done with it.
Yeah.
Are you going to get corona vaccinated?
I haven't thought too much about it, honestly. Like I know it's a huge thing, but I
You've
haven't.
thought about it.
Honestly, dude, no. Like I haven't thought about it that much. Like, am I gonna just go get vaccinated one of these days? No. If the government forces me to
Right.
get vaccinated, then like that's
I
it.
don't think
That's the
that'll
path.
happen. I don't think the forced vaccinations will happen, but you know, I do want to like quickly go over, obviously COVID has like decimated people's mental health. Big word, by the way, decimated.
Decimated.
Um, pretty big, pretty smart guy.
How many
Um,
syllables? Decimated for
so
or-
so it's been terrible for people's mental health. But the vaccine thing is like I'm just terrified of putting anything in my body that's not like
yeah,
that
it's
I don't know much about.
Exactly.
And I'm just gonna lay it out like, hey, you know, your scaredness is valid. If you're scared, it's totally
Yeah,
normal. And
everybody should
like,
be scared.
yeah, it's like, it's weird, it's a weird thing, it's a new vaccine, whatever. They're all normal thoughts, but do the research and decide for yourself. I think is probably the
Yeah.
smart thing to say. But hey, again, we are not doctors or medical professionals.
Here's a question for you.
Okay.
This is a question I've asked myself. But is there a too far where you can set yourself back?
Yeah, there's probably a too far. Like if I got on a plane to Australia right now, I would probably freak the fuck out.
Okay, but that's what like all of these
But I'd also
medical
make it through.
professionals,
Yeah.
that's what these people would say. You know what I mean? They're like,
Well, I would make it through, and I'd be like, dude, I just did that. I can do anything in the world. So yeah, maybe
my
no.
if I were to hop in a counseling session with my therapist and be like, hey, like I want to go to Australia tomorrow. Like I want to get on a plane and do it. He'd be like, then do it. Like what like why
Yeah.
wouldn't you do it? And I'd be like, I'm like, because panic attacks. Like that's why I'm
Yeah.
not doing it. And he'd be like, so have a panic attack on the plane. What's the worst that's gonna
Well,
happen?
I've had panic attacks on planes many a times. I had a
Yeah.
panic attack on the plane when I took a Xanax because I had never taken a Xanax before, and it did not shut my brain down, but shut my body down. So I literally fell asleep on the man next to me. I fell asleep on him, and I would wake up in full panic and look at him and wake and then fall asleep. And I was like passing out. And then I would
Yeah.
wake up and he looked at me, and all I remember is him looking in my eyes and going, dude, are you all right? And I just, right when he said that, I blacked out again. Like it was terrible. And every time I woke up, I was in a panic attack.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, is there a level of
I mean, that would have set
avoidance?
me back. That would have set me back, and it didn't. I was fine. I
Yeah.
flew to Denver, landed in Denver, drove to Phoenix, drove to LA right after that. So
Yeah, it's just like, is there a level of avoidance that outweighs setbacks, if that makes sense? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think you have to do the things. That's my do the things, do the scary things, start small, get bigger.
yeah, even if you have to start small. But I want to say no, because anxiety shouldn't stop you from doing anything, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Panic
Yeah.
disorder, panic attacks, as much as they are uncomfortable, they're not dangerous. Aha,
Yeah.
that's something I learned in a podcast or in a video. As much
Did
as
you?
they are uncomfortable, they're never dangerous. So no, they should not keep you from doing anything. And like,
Yeah, you're
yes,
definitely not gonna
yes,
die.
like no, like yes, as much as that's my wise mind talking, right? That's my
Logic.
that's my
That's what I call it.
logic. But
Logic versus
when my
emotion.
panic comes to the surface and it's like, yeah, don't do that. Stay at home.
Yeah.
False
It's just
comfort.
easy. It's
False
easy. Sit
comfort.
there and sit in a chair and watch hockey. Oh, it sounds so comfortable.
Yeah.
And driving to Florida and does not sound comfortable. But I
like
need to do it.
long term, like no, like that's not.
Yeah,
you're
long
gonna
term, it's
get to
bad for
80
me.
and you're gonna be like, they should have went
But
on
it's
that.
also bad in the short term that like I'm not doing things that build my confidence, and my anxiety for my daily life grows because the confidence isn't there.
Yeah.
Oh, boom! Another
Boom.
fucking bomb.
Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We talked a lot about avoidance.
We need to promote ourselves more.
Yeah,
On
Ryan K. Christian's
Instagram.
Max Flaws.
Oh, my
Flaws
Instagram's
cover?
Max Flaws. Yeah.
Okay.
But we have a YouTube channel with this Attacking Panic Podcast. We have the Instagram Attacking Panic Pod. Just
Spotify.
go do stuff, subscribe to it, do the thing. We should probably put it at like the beginning.
And
fuck it.
If you guys have any questions or literally any thoughts, or you just want like, if you want our casual thoughts or our experiential thoughts, I don't even know what I'm saying, but just reach out, say what's on your mind, say if you enjoyed the podcast, just don't be afraid to reach out. Max and I love talking.
Reach out.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we will be back. This was Tuesday. We'll be back next Tuesday, correct?
It's Thursday today.
No, but
yeah. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back next week,
all right.
Tuesday.
Follow everything, subscribe, like the videos, all that good stuff. Rate us on Spotify. I heard that helps. And on Apple. Do that. 5 stars,
baby.
please. And we will see you next week.
Peace.